The emergency room at Metropolitan Trauma Center smells like disinfectant and desperation at 11:47 p.m. on a Friday night in Chicago. Fluorescent lights hum overhead, casting everything in harsh white that makes blood look darker than it should. Dr. Thea Garrison stands in the corner of the break room, back against the wall, watching
Clamp secure.
chaos through the
Suction, please.
observation window.
Suction ready. Good.
32
Tie the
years old,
suture.
dark
Tying
hair
now.
pulled into a practical ponytail.
Oh my God,
the
what
kind of
happened?
face that disappears in a
can't look at
crowd
this.
5 minutes after meeting her.
Delete.
Exactly how she wants it. 8 months at Metropolitan. 8 months of keeping her head down, taking cases that nobody else wants, working double shifts without complaint. 8 months of being invisible. 8 months of pretending her hands do not remember things they should not know. The television in the corner shows news about VA healthcare cuts, funding shortages, veterans dying while waiting for care. Thea does not watch. She has heard it all before, the same story cycling endlessly like trauma itself. Her coffee has gone cold in the paper cup. She drinks it anyway. Sleep happens to other people. At night, when she closes her eyes, faces appear. Young faces. Faces that trusted her. Faces that did not make it home. So she works instead. Works until exhaustion overrides memory. The break room door swings open. Doctor. Nathaniel Cross enters with the confidence of someone who has never failed at anything important. 35 years old, handsome in a way that photographs well for hospital promotional materials. Chief resident. He made it clear from day one that first-year residents rank somewhere between medical students and furniture in his hierarchy. He pours coffee from the ancient machine in the corner. Does not acknowledge Thea. She has learned this is normal. To the other residents, she is background noise. The quiet one who never speaks up in rounds. The one who takes meticulous notes and asks no questions. Perfect. Cross pulls out his phone, types something. Thea catches a glimpse of the screen. A message thread. The recipient name is just Dad. The message reads, new resident still performing above her level, watching closely as requested. He hits send, pockets the phone, still does not look at Thea. His radio crackles. All trauma team members to the ER, mass casualty event, construction site explosion, multiple victims incoming, ET, A4 minutes. Crosses out the door before the announcement finishes. Thea sets down her coffee cup, follows at a distance. The hallway fills with movement, nurses running, residents scrambling, the controlled chaos that precedes real chaos. She takes position at Trauma Bay 3. The bay nobody wants because the equipment is oldest, the monitoring system glitches, and it sits farthest from the supply closet. But it has one advantage location in the corner away from attending physicians who supervise interesting cases. The first ambulance arrives, sirens cutting the night, paramedics pushing a gurney at speed, construction worker mid-40s covered in concrete dust and blood, minor injuries comparatively. Thea begins assessment with practiced efficiency. The second ambulance arrives 30 seconds later. This one is different. The paramedics are not running, they are sprinting. The patient on the gurney is small, too small, 17 years old, female, stab wound to chest, the knife still embedded just left of sternum, her shirt soaked with blood, her face the color of paper. Dr. Sullivan Barrett, the attending physician on duty, moves to the gurney. 38 years old, competent on normal days, but this is not a normal day. Thea sees it in his eyes, fear, uncertainty, the moment when training collides with reality and reality wins. Barrett's hands hover over the patient. The knife protrudes at an angle. Removing it risks catastrophic bleeding. Leaving it prevents proper damage assessment. Standard protocol says wait for cardiothoracic surgery, but the girl's blood pressure is dropping, oxygen saturation falling, heart rate climbing into dangerous territory. Barrett looks at the residents clustered around the bay. His voice has panic's edge disguised as authority. We need to stabilize and get her to the OR. Someone page cardiothoracic. Where's the rapid transfuser? Get me a central line kit. Move people. The residents move, but they move like people who do not know what they are doing. Dropping instruments, fumbling with equipment. The monitors scream. The girl is dying. Nobody knows how to save her. Thea is in Trauma Bay 315 feet away. She sees everything. The knife's angle, the specific bleeding pattern, the way the girl's chest moves with each shallow breath. She has seen this exact injury before. Not once, 7 times. Kandahar Province, Forward Surgical Team, 2016. Soldiers with improvised explosive device fragments lodged in their chests. No time to wait for specialized surgeons. No specialized surgeons within 100 miles. Just her hands, and absolute certainty that waiting means death. Her patient in Bay 3 is stable, conscious, talking. He does not need her. The 17-year-old girl does. Thea strips off her gloves, walks toward Trauma Bay 1. Her feet move without conscious decision, muscle memory taking over. The same walk she used to make across plywood floors in tent hospitals, where temperature hit 110 degrees and generators coughed smoke, and mortars landed close enough to shake surgical instruments on their trays. Barrett is still issuing orders, trying to organize chaos through volume. The residents are overwhelmed. One has started compressions. Wrong rhythm, wrong depth, wrong everything. Thea reaches the gurney. Her voice cuts through noise. Not loud, just clear, absolute. The voice that does not allow questions. Step aside, doctor. Barrett turns, sees her for the first time. Confusion crosses his face. Who are you? What bay are you assigned to? This is my trauma. You need to return to your patient. The monitors scream louder. The girl's blood pressure drops another 10 points. Thea does not move, does not blink, holds Barrett's gaze with eyes that have seen things he cannot imagine. She'll be dead in 90 seconds. I can do this. Why? Barrett's face flushes. You're a first-year resident. You don't have the authority or the training to make that call. Someone get her out of here. Where is security? Nobody moves because everyone in the room sees what Thea sees. The numbers on monitors, the color of the patient's skin, the specific way her chest is not moving properly. Death approaching at speed. Thea's voice does not rise, does not need to. Step aside now. Something in her tone freezes the room. Not the voice of a first-year resident. Something else. Something that carries weight. Authority earned not through hierarchy but through competence proven under fire. Barrett steps back, not because he wants to, because his body responds to a command it recognizes at primal level. Thea takes his position. Her hands assess the patient in 3 seconds. Palpates chest, checks knife angle, feels for specific anatomical landmarks she has memorized through repetition. Cardiac tamponade. Penetrating pericardial injury. The knife is the only thing keeping her alive right now, and the only thing killing her. She speaks without looking up. Trauma cart, 14-gauge needle, pericardiocentesis kit, 2 units O negative, prep the OR. Call cardiothoracic and tell them we're coming whether they're ready or not. A nurse moves to comply, then stops, looks at Barrett, waiting for confirmation. Barrett stares at Thea, at her steady hands, at the way she works with absolute confidence, at the fact that she just gave orders only an attending should give. Do it, he says quietly. Do what she says. The next 6 minutes are a masterclass in trauma surgery that nobody in the room has credentials to perform at this level. Thea does not remove the knife, not yet. First, she establishes venous access, not the fumbling attempts of someone who learned from textbooks. The decisive movements of someone who has done this in the rank of moving vehicles while people shot at her. The central line goes in on first attempt. IV fluids start. Blood transfusion begins. The girl's pressure stabilizes. Not much, but enough. Thea preps the field. Sterile technique perfect despite speed. She picks up the 14-gauge needle. The room holds its breath. This is the moment. The point where hesitation means death. Where doubt kills as surely as the injury. Thea does not hesitate. She identifies the entry point by feel. No ultrasound, no imaging. Just anatomical knowledge and muscle memory. The needle goes in at the exact angle needed. Draws back. Dark blood fills the syringe. Pressure around the heart releases. The girl gasps. A real breath. The first one in minutes. The monitors change their tune from screaming to merely urgent. Thea removes the knife with controlled precision. No flourish, no drama, just efficiency. The bleeding is significant but controllable. She packs the wound, maintains pressure, checks vitals. Everything by the book except for the fact that the book says a first-year resident should not know this book exists. Barrett stands frozen, watching. The other residents cluster at the edge of the bay, mouths open. Nobody speaks. The OR team arrives. Cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Bryn Calloway sweeps in with her team. 52 years old, gray hair cut short, 25 years earning respect in a field that did not want to give it to her. She takes one look at the scene and her eyes narrow. What happened here? Barrett finds his voice. Dr. Garrison performed emergency pericardiocentesis and controlled the hemorrhage. The patient is stable for transport. Calloway's gaze shifts to Thea, studies her, the way a jeweler studies a stone to determine if it is glass or diamond. Dr. Garrison, first year, is that correct? Yes, ma'am. Where did you train, Northwestern? Calloway does not blink. I meant before that. The question hangs weighted, dangerous. Thea feels the room's attention focusing on her, feels the careful invisibility she built over 8 months starting to crack. I studied extensively, ma'am. Emergency medicine journals, surgical technique videos. I wanted to be prepared. The lie tastes like copper, like blood, like all the other lies she has told since coming to Chicago. Calloway holds her gaze for 5 seconds, then nods once. Impressive initiative, Dr. Garrison. The patient is stable. We'll take her from here. The OR team wheels the gurney away. The residents disperse. Barrett stands at the nurse's station writing notes with hands that shake slightly. Adrenaline crash. The realization of how close they came to losing someone. Thea strips off her gloves, walks back to Trauma Bay 3. Her patient is still stable, still talking. She completes her assessment, writes her notes. Her handwriting is neat, economical, no wasted words. Nobody speaks to her, but everyone watches. The quiet first-year resident who just performed a procedure that senior residents practice on cadavers and pray they never have to do on a living patient. Across the ER Cross watches from behind a computer terminal. His expression is unreadable. He pulls out his phone again, types another message to Dad. She's former military. I'm certain now. What do you want me to do? The response comes within seconds. Keep watching. Report everything. This is important. Cross deletes the conversation. Returns to his charts. But his eyes track Thea down the hallway. She finishes her shift at 7 in the morning. The sun rises over Chicago when she walks out of the hospital. The city wakes up. People heading to work. Traffic building. Normal life resuming. Thea walks 3 blocks to the bus stop. Waits in silence. A businessman stands next to her scrolling through his phone. He does not look at her. Nobody looks at her. She is just another tired medical resident in scrubs that smell like disinfectant and coffee. Perfect. The bus arrives. She finds a seat in the back, closes her eyes, does not sleep, just sits with exhaustion that goes bone deep. The kind of tired that comes not from lack of rest, but from constant vigilance, from maintaining a facade, from pretending her hands do not remember doing this same work in places where the nearest backup was 30 minutes away by helicopter if the weather was clear and nobody was shooting at the landing zone. Her phone vibrates in her pocket. She ignores it. Probably a scheduling change. Another shift. Another opportunity to be invisible. It vibrates again. She pulls it out. Unknown number. Text message. The screen shows a photograph. She recognizes it immediately, even though she has not seen this specific image in 7 years. A field hospital in Afghanistan. Dust and sandbags visible through tent opening. In the foreground, a surgeon in blood-stained scrubs stands beside a gurney. The surgeon's face is visible despite the surgical mask. Younger, harder, exhausted beyond measure. Eyes that have seen things that cannot be unseen. Captain Thea Garrison, United States Army Medical Corps, Kandahar Province, 2016. Below the photo, a caption in plain text. Captain Garrison, you can't hide forever. Thea stares at the screen. Her pulse does not change. Breathing stays steady. Years of training kicking in. Never show weakness. Never reveal fear, even when terrified. She deletes the message, blocks the number, puts the phone back in her pocket, keeps her eyes closed for the rest of the bus ride. But the message has done its work. Someone knows where she is. Someone knows who she was. The careful anonymity she built is starting to collapse. Her apartment is a studio in a building that smells like curry and old carpet. 8 months here and she owns almost nothing. A mattress on the floor, a card table that serves as desk and dining surface, a single chair. Her clothes hang in a closet that is mostly empty. On the card table sits a laptop, a stack of medical journals, and a shoebox. She does not open the shoebox often, maybe once a month. When nightmares strip away her defenses, leaving her hollow at 3 a.m., inside are pieces of her old life. Dog tags on a ball chain, a challenge coin from her unit, 3 purple hearts she never filed paperwork for because filing meant explaining injuries and explaining meant reliving them. Photographs of people whose faces she sees every time she closes her eyes. And at the bottom, under everything else, a field journal. Green cover, water-stained. Pages filled with her handwriting from another life. Thea does not open the shoebox today. Just stares at it for a long moment. Then she showers, changes into clean clothes, makes coffee she will not drink, sits at the card table and opens her laptop. Medical journals, case studies, the careful accumulation of knowledge that creates the illusion she learned everything from books. Her phone vibrates again. Different number, same message type. This time it is a list, 24 names. She recognizes every single one. Soldiers she operated on. Young men and women who came through her field hospital with injuries that should have killed them. Some survived, some did not. Beside each name, a notation. PFC Marcus Hayes, survived, medical discharge. Lives in Ohio. Corporal James Wade, KIA, secondary infection. Died 3 days post-op. Sergeant Lily Martinez, survived. Purple Heart, teaches high school in Texas. The list continues. A scorecard of triage decisions. Of surgeries performed under conditions that would make civilian doctors quit medicine. Of the ones she saved and the ones she could not. At the bottom of the list, a new message. Corporal Fallon Mitchell is dying. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Jesse Brown, FE, a medical center, Chicago. She's asking for Captain Garrison. You have 48 hours. Thea reads the message 3 times. Fallon Mitchell, radio operator. Convoy ambush outside Kandahar, March 2016. Shrapnel to chest. Thea operated for 6 hours. Repaired the heart with hands that cramped from exhaustion. Watched Fallon wake up 3 days later and smile and say thank you. Fallon is in Chicago, asking for her, dying. Thea deletes the message, blocks the number. But damage is done. Someone is not just watching her. Someone is using her past as leverage. Using dying soldiers as bait. She stands, paces the small apartment. 4 steps to the wall, turn, 4 steps back. The space feels smaller than yesterday. She could ignore the messages, change her number, maybe even change cities. Start over again, build a new identity in a new place. But Fallon is asking for her, and Thea has left too many soldiers behind already. Her phone rings, not a text, an actual call, unknown number. She stares at it for 3 rings, considers not answering, finally picks up. Her voice is neutral. Garrison? The voice on the other end is military, professional. The kind of voice that has given orders in combat zones and expects them to be followed. Captain Garrison, this is Colonel Wade Lancaster, Joint Special Operations Command. We need to talk. Thea closes her eyes, opens them. When she speaks, her voice is carefully controlled. I'm retired, sir. I'm not that person anymore. I'm aware of your current status, Captain. But we have a situation. Corporal Mitchell, the soldier you're being contacted about, she's at Jesse Brown Fob, a medical center, and someone tried to kill her in her hospital room 2 hours ago. Thea goes still, the kind of stillness that comes before violence. Explain. Someone gained access to her room, medical scrubs, fake credentials, injected succinylcholine into her IV port, enough to stop her heart. She survived because a nurse came in early for vital checks and noticed the syringe. We have her in protective custody now, but she won't talk to our people. She'll only talk to you. Why me? Because you saved her life 8 years ago when everyone else said she was too far gone. Because she trusts you. And because whatever she knows, it's important enough that someone is willing to kill a dying woman to keep it quiet. Thea sits down at the card table, looks at the shoebox, at the laptop, at the evidence of the life she has built. The civilian life, the safe life. What does she know? That's need to know, Captain. But if you come in, if you talk to her, we can read you in. This is off book. Your hospital doesn't need to know. Your administrator doesn't need to know. Just you, Corporal Mitchell, and the truth. Silence stretches between them. Thea hears the sound of the city outside her window. Chicago, the place she came to disappear. The place where she thought she could leave Captain Garrison behind and just be doctor. Thea Garrison, first-year resident. Nobody special, nobody important. But some debts cannot be paid by disappearing. When do you need me? Today, this afternoon, Jesse Brown VA asks for Major Quinn Reeves at the front desk. She'll escort you to Mitchell's room. Thea looks at the photograph on her card table. Her father in his Marine Corps dress blues. Dead when she was 16. Heart attack. The doctor said stress. Thea knew better. Combat does not end when you come home. It just moves inside and eats you from the inside out. I'll be there at 1400 hours. Thank you, Captain. Lancaster pauses. For what it's worth, Mitchell speaks very highly of you. Says you're the best combat surgeon she ever saw. I did my job, sir. Nothing more. Sometimes that's everything, Captain. See you at 1400. The line goes dead. Thea sets the phone down, looks at her reflection in the laptop screen. 32 years old, dark circles under her eyes. The face of someone who does not sleep well, who carries ghosts. She opens the shoebox, takes out the field journal, does not open it, just holds it, feels the weight of it. Pages filled with notes about surgeries performed and lives saved and lives lost. The accounting of war written in blue ink that has faded but not disappeared. On the cover in permanent marker, someone has written a quote, not her handwriting. Fallon's. Others before self, the motto of their unit. The principle that kept them alive. The burden they still carry. Thea puts the journal back, closes the shoebox. She has 4 hours before she needs to be at the VA hospital. 4 hours to prepare herself to be Captain Garrison again. To walk back into the world she left. To face the ghosts that have been hunting her. She showers again, dresses in civilian clothes, jeans and a plain shirt. But she moves differently now. Not the careful invisibility of Dr. Garrison. Something else. Something harder. The bus ride to Jesse Brown, the medical center, takes 35 minutes. Thea spends it staring out the window, watching Chicago pass by, the city that was supposed to be her sanctuary, her hiding place, her chance to be someone other than the surgeon who made impossible decisions under fire. The VA hospital is a sprawling complex on the west side, old buildings, new additions, the patchwork architecture of an institution that has been expanded repeatedly without coherent planning. Budget constraints written in concrete and glass. Thea walks through the main entrance. The lobby is busy, veterans in wheelchairs, families visiting, staff moving with the efficient exhaustion of people working in an underfunded system. She approaches the information desk, asks for Major Quinn Reeves. The receptionist makes a call. 2 minutes later, a woman in army dress uniform appears. Major Reeves is 38, fit, alert, the kind of soldier who makes you believe standards exist for a reason. She looks at Thea with eyes that assess and categorize in seconds. Dr. Garrison. Thea nods. Come with me, please. They walk through corridors, take an elevator to the 4th floor. Reeves does not make small talk. Thea appreciates that. Both professionals. Both understand that words are tools to be used economically. But as they walk, Thea notices small things. The way Reeves checks her phone twice in 3 minutes. The route she chooses not the fastest, but the most isolated. The subtle tension in her shoulders. Training whispers caution. Thea files it away. Maintains situational awareness without revealing awareness. The 4th floor is quieter. Fewer people, more security. They pass 2 military police officers stationed at a checkpoint. Reeves shows credentials. Thea signs a visitor log. The MPs check her ID. Let them through. At the end of the hall, another MP stands outside a door. Reeves nods to him. He steps aside. Inside the room, Thea sees her. Corporal Fallon Mitchell, 37 years old, skeletal from cancer, tubes and monitors surrounding her. IV pole with multiple lines running, oxygen cannula, morphine pump, all the machinery that cannot save her but can make the end more bearable. But when Fallon sees Thea, her eyes light up, despite the pain, despite the cancer, despite everything. Captain, her voice is rough, barely more than a whisper. I knew you'd come. Thea moves to the bedside, takes Fallon's hand. The bones are prominent beneath papery skin, fragile, breakable. I'm here, Corporal, I'm here. Fallon's eyes close for a moment. When they open again, tears track down her cheeks. They said you disappeared, left the army, changed your name. I thought maybe you didn't want to be found. Thea's throat tightens. She swallows it down, maintains control. I left, but I'm not hiding from you. Never from you. Fallon squeezes her hand. The pressure is weak but intentional. I don't have much time. The doctors say days, maybe hours. I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you 8 years ago. Thea pulls a chair close. Sits. Holds Fallon's hand in both of hers. Tell me. Fallon takes a breath. It rattles. Painful. The convoy ambush. The one where I got hit. It wasn't Taliban, Captain. It was our own people. The words land like bullets. Thea maintains composure, but her mind processes rapidly. Explain. We were transporting something. Evidence. Documents proving defense contractor fraud. Billions of dollars. The ambush was meant to destroy the evidence and kill everyone who knew about it. Fallon's voice is fading, the effort of speaking draining her. I survived because you wouldn't let me die. But the others, Martinez, Howell, Wade, they're all dead now. Ruled accidents, suicides, natural causes. But I know better. She reaches under her pillow, pulls out a small object. USB drive. This is a copy, everything. Names, bank accounts, proof. The password is in your field journal. Page 47, yellow highlight. Thea stares at the drive. I burned that journal. Fallon smiles, weak but knowing. No, you didn't. It's in your shoebox, under the purple hearts. I had someone check to make sure you'd be able to access this when the time came. Why didn't you go to the FBI to the Inspector General? I tried. They're compromised. All of them. The conspiracy goes too high. I needed someone outside the system. Someone I trust. Someone who can't be bought. She presses the drive into Thea's palm. You saved my life once. Now I'm asking you to save theirs. All the soldiers still serving. All the ones who will die if this continues. Thea closes her fingers around the drive, feels the weight of it, a few grams of plastic and circuitry that contains power to destroy careers and end lives. I'm not a soldier anymore, Fallon. I'm a resident. I have a life here. Fallon's eyes hold hers, piercing despite the morphine. You'll always be a soldier, Captain. And soldiers don't leave soldiers behind. Before Thea can respond, alarms sound in the hallway, loud, urgent, the kind that means lockdown. Major Reeves bursts through the door, her hand on her sidearm. We need to evacuate, now, 3 hostiles, service entrance, fake credentials. They're coming for her. Thea's already moving, releasing brake on Fallon's bed, checking IV lines, years of training taking over without thought. Where, secure wing, 2 floors down, MPS are covering the stairwell. They move fast, Thea pushing the bed, Reeves leading with weapon drawn. The MPS in the hallway form a protective cordon. Move with them. The stairwell is concrete and echo. Their footsteps ring loud, Fallon's monitors beeping. The wheels of the bed rattling. 2 floors down, through a security door, into a wing that looks abandoned. Empty nurses' station. Dark rooms. But at the end of the hall, lights. Armed guards. A makeshift command center. Colonel Lancaster is there. 55 years old. Gray hair. The bearing of a man who has given orders in combat and watched them carried out. He looks at Thea, nods once. Captain Garrison, good to meet you in person. Sir. They get Fallon's bed into a secure room. Reeves posts guards. Lancaster turns to Thea. Did she tell you? Oh, Thea looks at Fallon, at the woman who trusted her with this, who survived 8 years just to deliver this message. She told me enough. Lancaster's face is grim. Then you know why we can't let them get to her, and why we need your help. Thea looks down at her hand, at the USB drive, at the weight of responsibility she thought she had left behind when she walked away from the Army. Outside the window, Chicago spreads across the afternoon, the city that was supposed to be her sanctuary, her escape, her chance to be someone else. But Captain Thea Garrison is back, and she has work to do. The secure wing smells different from the rest of the hospital. Less disinfectant, more dust, like a place forgotten by everyone except people who need to hide. Thea stands at the window of the makeshift command center, watching the sun drop toward Chicago's skyline. Behind her, Colonel Lancaster coordinates with his team via encrypted radio. Major Reeves posts additional guards at entry points. The room hums with controlled urgency. Fallon sleeps fitfully in the adjacent room, sedated enough to manage pain, but not enough to disconnect her from consciousness completely. The cancer is winning. Thea sees it in the monitors. In numbers that tell stories, doctors learn to read like prophecy. Lancaster ends his radio call, approaches Thea at the window, carries 2 bottles of water, offers her one. She takes it, does not drink, just holds it. The plastic cool against her palm. You did good work today, Captain. Getting her out of that room before they breached. Thea does not turn from the window. I followed Major Reeves. She did the work. Lancaster almost smiles, while still deflecting praise. Some things never change. He stands beside her, both watching the city. Traffic below moving in patterns that seem chaotic but follow rules, like triage, like war. I read your file, Lancaster says. All of it. The classified parts, the ones that don't make it into official records. Thea's jaw tightens. Then you know why I left. I know what the reports say. Completed 4 tours, 217 successful combat surgeries, 3 Purple Hearts, Silver Star recommendation that you refused. Honorable discharge at your request. He pauses, weighs his next words carefully. What the reports don't say is why a surgeon with your record walked away at 25. Why you changed your middle name on all civilian applications. Why you chose the least prestigious residency program that accepted you. Thea finally turns to face him. her eyes steady, unflinching. Because I was tired of choosing which 19-year-olds got to live and which ones got body bags. Because I spent 6 years making decisions that felt like murder, even when they were mathematically correct. Because I couldn't look at one more mother's face when I told her that her son didn't make it off the table. She takes a breath, forces her voice back to level. And because the last soldier who died under my hands was 20 years old. Shrapnel to abdomen. I had 3 other critical patients. I made the choice, triaged him as expectant, left him with morphine and a prayer. When I came back 40 minutes later, he was still alive, conscious. He looked at me and asked if I'd done everything I could. The silence that follows is heavy. Lancaster does not try to fill it with platitudes. He has been in combat. He knows some questions have no good answers. His name was Private Dylan Foster, Thea continues, from Nebraska. His mother sent me letters for 2 years, asking what happened, asking if he suffered, asking if I held his hand. Did you, No. I was saving 3 other soldiers. The mathematics worked, 3 lives for 1. But mathematics doesn't account for the look in a dying kid's eyes when he realizes he's been left behind. Lancaster nods slowly. So you came to Chicago to save lives without having to make those choices. I came to Chicago to disappear. How's that working out? Thea looks down at the USB drive in her pocket, at the weight of it, the responsibility it represents. About as well as you'd expect. A knock at the door. One of Lancaster's technical specialists enters. Young corporal with the focused energy of someone who lives behind computer screens. Sir, we've identified the 3 hostiles from security footage. All former military, honorably discharged, now working for Black Ridge Security Solutions. Lancaster's expression darkens. Black Ridge, they're contractors. Who hired them? Still tracking that, sir, but Black Ridge specializes in wet work. If they sent 3 operators to hit a dying woman in a VA hospital, someone paid serious money for this. The specialist leaves. Lancaster turns back to Thea. Corporal Mitchell said the conspiracy goes high. How high? She said brigadier general level, maybe higher, defense contractors, congressional staffers, a network operating for 15 years. Lancaster runs a hand through his gray hair. Jesus, and the evidence is on that drive. According to Fallon, names, bank accounts, communications, everything needed to bring down the operation. You trust her. With my life, she's dying. She has no reason to lie. Then we need to decrypt that drive. You said the password is in your field journal. Thea nods. Page 47, yellow highlight, but the journal is at my apartment. Lancaster pulls out his phone. We'll send a team. No, Thea's voice is firm. My apartment is probably under surveillance. If your team goes there, they'll know we have the drive. They'll escalate. So what do you suggest? I go, alone. I'm a civilian now, a first-year resident. If they're watching, they'll see someone going home after a long shift. Nothing suspicious. Lancaster shakes his head. Too risky. They tried to kill Mitchell. They'll try to kill you. Maybe, but they don't know I have the drive yet. Right now, I'm just the surgeon who saved Fallon 8 years ago. Someone she asked to visit. Nothing more. Unless they've been tracking you. Unless they know who you really are. Then I deal with it. But that journal is the only way to decrypt the drive. And the drive is the only way to stop this. So I'm going. She walks toward the door. Lancaster's voice stops her. Captain, you're a civilian. I can't order you to do this. Thea pauses, hand on door handle, looks back over her shoulder. No, sir, but you can ask. Their eyes hold for a moment, a conversation happening without words. Recognition between soldiers who understand what service means, what it costs. I'm asking, Lancaster says quietly. Thea nods once, leaves. The walk through the VA hospital feels different now. Civilian clothes no longer feel like disguise. They feel like lie. Every person she passes might be threat. Every exit might be blocked. Paranoia of combat operations settling back into her bones like arthritis. She takes the bus, sits in the back, watches other passengers with peripheral vision that misses nothing. Businessman with phone, student with headphones, elderly woman with shopping bags, all innocent. Probably. Her stop comes. She exits with 3 other people, does not look back to see if anyone follows. That would signal awareness. Instead, she walks with tired shuffle of someone at the end of a double shift. Head down, shoulders slumped. Just another exhausted medical resident in a city full of them. Her building is 4 blocks from the bus stop. Old brick. Fire escapes zigzagging down the facade like scars. Front door lock has been broken for 3 months. Nobody has fixed it. She climbs stairs to third floor. Hallway empty. Quiet. The kind of quiet that could mean nothing or everything. Her apartment door is locked. She checks it carefully. No scratches on mechanism. No signs of forced entry. She keys in, closes door behind her, locks it. The apartment is exactly as she left it. Card table, laptop, shoebox. She does not go to the shoebox immediately. First, she checks the rest of the space. Bathroom, closet, single window looking onto alley. No signs of intrusion, no cameras visible, no microphones obvious. But absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. She goes to the card table, opens the shoebox, contents undisturbed. Dog tags, purple hearts, challenge coin, photographs, and at the bottom, the field journal. Thea picks it up, the cover worn, water-stained. Pages filled with handwriting that belongs to a different version of herself. Younger, harder, less certain that leaving was an option. She opens to page 47. The entry dated March 2016. Kandahar Province. The handwriting is rushed. Written between surgeries, between casualties. Words economical because time was scarce and paper precious. Corporal Fallon Mitchell, radio operator, 29 years old. Shrapnel to chest from AED. Penetrating cardiac injury, pericardial tamponade, operated 6 hours. Repaired right ventricle. 3 episodes cardiac arrest during surgery. Resuscitated each time. She survived. Below that in different ink, added later, single line highlighted in yellow marker. Others before self 2016. The password, their unit motto, and the year they served together. Simple, memorable, something only Fallon would know to tell her. Something only Thea would understand. She photographs the page with her phone, closes the journal, returns it to the shoebox, replacing the lid when her apartment door explodes inward. Not kicked, not picked, breached. Professional entry. 2 men in tactical gear moving with coordinated precision of operators who have done this 1,000 times. Thea's body reacts before mind processes. Muscle memory from close quarters combat training. She drops, rolls behind the card table. Not cover. Just concealment. But concealment by seconds. First operator sweeps left, second right. Standard clearing pattern. Fast, efficient. Looking for her, card table between her and them. She kicks it, hard. It flies toward first operator. Not enough to hurt him, just enough to disrupt line of sight for half a second. Half a second is enough. She is up. Moving toward window, not to escape, to grab laptop. Her hand closes on it. She throws. Not at operators, at window. Glass shatters. Laptop tumbles out into alley 3 stories below. USB drive in her pocket. Password in her phone. Laptop just destroyed any local copies they might try to recover. First operator is on her before she can pivot. Strong hands grab her arm. Professional restraint technique. She counters with a move that predates Army training. Street fighting basics from childhood, spent in neighborhoods where knowing how to throw a punch was survival. Her elbow connects with his jaw. Not hard enough to drop him, hard enough to make him reassess her threat level. Second operator pulls syringe from his vest. Same kind man for Fallon. Succinylcholine. Untraceable if it works. Heart attack by injection. Thea sees it, understands intent. They are not here to take her. They are here to eliminate her. She breaks from first operator, throws herself toward door. Not elegant, not tactical, just desperate momentum. She hits hallway at a run, behind her boots pounding, orders being shouted. They are coordinating, calling for backup. This was supposed to be quiet elimination. She has made it loud. Stairwell ahead. She takes it at full speed. Down, not up. Up is dead end. Down is streets. People. Witnesses. Harder to kill someone in public. Not impossible. Just harder. She clears 2 flights before she hears them behind her. Gaining. They are faster, better conditioned. She is a surgeon who runs twice a week when she remembers. This is not fair fight. Ground floor. She bursts through exit door into lobby. Elderly woman from bus is checking mailbox. Looks up, startled. Call 911. Thea gasps. Armed men, 3rd floor. Woman's eyes go wide, does not question, just pulls out phone. Thea's out front door, into street, evening traffic, pedestrians. The camouflage of urban life. She runs, not away from operators, toward people, towards safety in numbers. Behind her, operators emerge, but they have stowed weapons. Too many witnesses. They cannot shoot her here. Can only follow. Wait for opening. Thea cuts left, into alley. Bad tactical choice in normal circumstances. But she is not trying to escape. She is trying to get to the one place she knows they will not follow. Metropolitan Trauma Center is 6 blocks away. She runs, lungs burn, legs scream. She has not run this hard since basic training 12 years ago. Behind her, operators maintain pursuit. Not running, jogging, confident. They know she will tire. They know the city. They have backup. Time is on their side. But Thea has something they do not expect. Desperation born of purpose. She runs through intersections, against lights, cars honking, pedestrians cursing. She does not stop, does not slow. 4 blocks. 3, 2. Hospital appears ahead. Emergency entrance. Ambulances. Security. Lights. People. She crosses threshold at sprint. Automatic doors slide open. She is through. Into ER. Familiar smell of disinfectant and crisis. Her sanctuary. She collides with nurse, steadies herself, tries to catch breath. Doctor, Garrison. Nurse's face concerned. Are you okay? Thea nods, cannot speak yet, just nods. She looks back at entrance. 2 operators stand outside, watching. They cannot follow her here. Too many cameras, too much security, too many people who know her. But their presence sends message. They know where she works, they know where she lives. They can get to her anywhere. Her phone vibrates. Text from Lancaster. Are you safe, she types with shaking hands. For now, at Metropolitan. I have the password. Good. Stay there. We're sending a team to extract you. Thea looks around ER. Chaos as always. Friday night in Chicago. Gunshot wounds, car accidents, overdoses. Normal parade of human fragility. Dr. Sullivan Barrett sees her from across bay. Approaches. Expression concerned. Garrison, you look like hell. What happened? Long story. I need to make a call. Is the staff lounge available? Yeah, you sure you're okay? Fine, just need a minute. She walks to staff lounge. Locks door. Sits in chair where she sat 12 hours ago. Lifetime ago. Before messages. Before Fallon. Before Captain Garrison came back. She calls Lancaster. He answers on first ring. I have the password, she says. Others before self 2016. Can your tech people start working on the drive? Already on it. We made a duplicate. They're running decryption now. How long? Maybe an hour. These are military-grade algorithms. But with password, we can crack it. Good. Because they came to my apartment. 2 operators. Black Ridge Security. They tried to inject me with succinylcholine. Jesus, you get away clean? I destroyed my laptop. Threw it out window. They might have been trying to recover local files. But everything important is either in my head or on that drive. Smart. Stay at hospital. We're sending Major Reeves with protection detail. ETA 30 minutes. Understood. She hangs up, leans back in chair. Her hands shake now. Adrenaline crash coming. She has been in firefights. Has operated while mortars landed close enough to shake the building. Has made life and death decisions in seconds. But that was years ago when she was Captain Garrison. Combat surgeon, soldier. Now she is Dr. Garrison. First-year resident. Civilian. Someone who was supposed to be safe. Door handle rattles. Someone trying to enter. Thea tenses. Hand goes to pocket. No weapon. Just USB drive and phone. Door opens. Doctor. Bryn Calloway stands in doorway. Attending who questioned her this morning. The one who recognized combat medicine when she saw it. Calloway's eyes take in Thea's appearance. Disheveled hair. Torn sleeve. The look on her face that does not belong in hospital break room. We need to talk, Calloway says. She steps inside, closes door, locks it. Thea does not move, waits. I know who you are, Calloway continues, or rather who you were. Captain Thea Garrison, Army Medical Corps. 4 tours, forward surgical teams, Afghanistan and Iraq. Thea says nothing. There is nothing to say. Truth already spoken. I worked with Doctors Without Borders, Calloway says. Syria, Yemen, South Sudan. I've seen combat medicine. I know what it looks like when someone has learned to operate under fire. She sits in chair across from Thea, voice softens slightly. This morning when you saved that girl, I recognized your technique. Specific way you approached thoracotomy. Suture patterns. Speed without panic. That's not something you learn from textbooks. Thea meets her eyes. Are you going to report me? For what being too good at your job, for having experience that makes you better doctor, for lying on my application. Calloway shakes her head. You didn't lie about medical credentials. You just omitted military service. That's not fraud. That's privacy. She leans forward, elbows on knees, posture of someone about to share confidence. I know why you left, Captain, or at least I can guess. Weight of triage decisions, faces you couldn't save, way combat medicine follows you home and sits in your chest like shrapnel. How do you know? Because I feel it too. Every patient I lost in those field hospitals. Every time I had to choose who got limited supplies and who got comfort care. It doesn't leave you. They sit in silence for a moment. Two women who have seen war from medical side, who understand specific guilt of surviving when others did not. So what now, Thea asks. Now you tell me why you look like you just ran for your life, and why there are two men in tactical gear watching the ER entrance from across street. Thea looks at her, calculates. Trust is risk, but Calloway already knows who she is, already understands what she comes from. And Thea needs allies. Someone is trying to kill a dying soldier, a woman I operated on 8 years ago. She has evidence of major defense contractor fraud conspiracy. They tried to kill her this afternoon. Then they came to my apartment. Calloway's expression does not change, just processes information with calm of someone who has dealt with crisis before. Are you in danger right now? Probably, but I have protection coming. Military police, they'll be here in 20 minutes. And after that, we decrypt evidence, expose conspiracy, hopefully stop more soldiers from dying. And Calloway nods slowly. What do you need from me? Cover. If anyone asks, I came here for my shift. Nothing unusual. I'm just another resident. Done. Anything else? Thea hesitates, then decides. If something happens to me, if I don't make it through this, there's a shoebox in my apartment. 3rd floor, Unit 3C. Inside is field journal. Make sure it gets to Corporal Fallon Mitchell at Jesse Brown 5A. Calloway's eyes are serious. Nothing is going to happen to you, but I'll remember. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Calloway stands. You're about to learn something about people who work in war zones. We don't leave our own behind. Whatever you need, you have backup. She unlocks door, pauses before opening. The men watching ER, do they know what you look like? Yes. Then you need to change appearance. Come with me. They walk through ER to women's locker room. Calloway pulls backpack from her locker. Inside are spare scrubs, surgical cap, glasses. Put these on, tie your hair back. Cap will help. Glasses will change facial recognition profile enough to buy time. Thea changes quickly, looks at herself in mirror. With cap and glasses, she looks different enough. Not unrecognizable, but different. Better, Calloway says. Now you're just another doctor, one of dozens in this hospital. Thea's phone vibrates. Text from Lancaster. Reeves is pulling up to staff entrance. South side, 2 minutes. Time to go, Thea says. Calloway walks her through hospital, not main quarters, back routes, staff hallways, paths that avoid public areas and cameras. They reach south entrance. Through glass doors, Thea sees black SUV, military plates, Major Reeves in driver's seat. But something is wrong. Thea's training screams warning. The way Reeves sits, the angle of the vehicle, the fact that she chose this entrance isolated fewer cameras. Calloway puts hand on Thea's shoulder. Whatever happens, you did good work today. That girl you saved this morning, she's going to live. That matters. It always matters, Thea says, but she does not move toward the door. Not yet. Dr. Calloway, when you worked in conflict zones, did you ever have to decide who to trust when everyone might be compromised? Calloway's expression sharpens. What how? Because I'm about to get in that vehicle and I need to know if my instincts are warning me or if I'm just paranoid. Calloway looks out at the SUV, at Reeves, studies the scene with practiced eye. What are your instincts telling you? That something is wrong, that Reeves has checked her phone too many times, that her route choices have been subtly off, that this extraction feels like theater. Then don't get in that vehicle. But if I'm wrong, I'm refusing help from someone trying to save me. Calloway meets her eyes. In my experience, combat instincts are right more often than they're wrong. Trust your training. Thea nods, pulls out her phone, texts Lancaster directly bypassing Reeves. Need confirmation code, authentication protocol, Delta. Response comes within seconds. From Lancaster's number. Protocol Delta confirmed. Reeves is secure. You're clear to extract. But the response is too fast, too clean. Lancaster would have asked why she needed authentication, would have questioned the unusual request. This is not Lancaster. Thea types back. Copy that. Moving to extraction. Now, then she turns to Calloway. Call 911. Tell them there's a potential kidnapping attempt at Metropolitan South entrance. Black SUV military plates. Calloway does not hesitate. Pulls out her phone. Makes the call. Thea watches through the glass. Reeves checks her phone. Tenses. The game is up. Reeves knows Thea knows. The SUV door opens. Reeves steps out. Not aggressive, just purposeful. Walking toward the entrance. Stay behind me, Thea tells Calloway. Reeves enters through the automatic doors. Her expression is apologetic. Regretful. Dr. Garrison, we need to go, now. Colonel's orders. What's the rush, Major? Situation has escalated. Hostiles are closing in. Every second we wait puts you at greater risk. Then why did Colonel Lancaster not mention the escalation when I texted him 3 minutes ago? Reeves goes very still. You texted the Colonel. I did, and someone answered, but it wasn't him. Thea's voice hardens. How much did they pay you, Major? How much is a dying woman's life worth? Reeves's hand moves toward her sidearm. Not drawing, just ready. Behind Thea, the ER doors burst open. Dr. Nathaniel Cross enters with 4 Chicago police officers. Cross sees the situation immediately. Sees Reeves's hand near her weapon. Sees Thea positioned defensively. Sees Calloway on the phone. Major Reeves, Cross says, his voice carrying authority Thea has not heard from him before. I need you to remove your hand from your weapon. Slowly. Reeves looks at him. At the police. At Thea. Calculating odds. Dr. Cross, this is a military matter. Civilian police have no jurisdiction. Actually, Cross pulls out credentials. I'm also Army Reserve. Captain Cross, military intelligence. And I've been investigating General Sutton's network for 3 months. He looks at Thea. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you sooner. Operational security. Thea processes this rapidly. Cross's messages to Dad, his watching her. All of it was intelligence gathering, not threat. The police officers have their hands on their weapons now. Not drawn, but ready. Reeves makes her decision. Her hand comes away from her sidearm. Slowly, palms visible. I want a lawyer. You'll get one, Cross says, after you tell us where they're holding Colonel Lancaster. The real one. Reeves says nothing. The police cuff her, read her rights, lead her away. Cross approaches Thea. His expression is complicated. Respect and apology, and something that might be admiration. I'm sorry, he says. I've been undercover for months, watching for Sutton's people inside military medical facilities. When you performed that thoracotomy this morning, I knew you were former military. I had to verify whether you were connected to Sutton or if you were a potential ally. You could have told me. I couldn't risk it. If you were compromised, telling you would have blown my cover. If you weren't approaching, you could have put you in danger. He pauses. I made the wrong call. I'm sorry. Thea looks at him, at the man she thought was just an arrogant chief resident, who was actually an intelligence officer running an operation. Where's Lancaster, the real Lancaster? We're working on that. Reeves will talk eventually. They always do. Cross pulls out his phone. But first we need to get you somewhere actually secure, and we need to decrypt that drive. Already done, says a voice from behind them. They turn. A man in civilian clothes approaches. FBI credentials visible. Special Agent Garrett Walsh, 55 years old. The kind of face that has seen too much corruption to be surprised by any of it. We've been working parallel investigation into defense contractor fraud, Walsh explains. When Captain Cross contacted us this morning about Corporal Mitchell and Dr. Garrison, we coordinated. He holds up a tablet. Your password worked. The drive is decrypted, and it's everything Mitchell promised. Names, bank accounts, communications. We have 16 people in custody already. More arrests coming. Who's running the operation? Thea asks. Walsh's expression darkens. Brigadier General Cruz Sutton, retired, your former commanding officer in Kandahar. The words hit like physical blow. Thea's vision narrows. Sutton, the man who trained her, who recommended her for Silver Star, who taught her that soldiers take care of soldiers. The man who has been orchestrating conspiracy that killed dozens of people. Where is he? That's complicated, Walsh says. He's not running, he's setting a trap, using Corporal Mitchell as bait. He has her at a warehouse south of the city, and he's expecting you to try to rescue her. Cross's phone buzzes. He checks it. His face goes pale. They've moved Mitchell. She's no longer at the secure VA wing. He looks at Thea. Somehow Sutton's people got to her. They're using her as leverage, demanding you bring the drive in exchange for her life. Thea's hands clench into fists. Then we give them what they want. It's a trap, Walsh says. You go there, you die. Probably, but I'm not leaving Fallon to die alone in a warehouse surrounded by people who want to kill her. Thea's voice is steel. She survived 8 years to expose this conspiracy. The least I can do is make sure she dies knowing it worked. Cross and Walsh exchange looks. We can't authorize this, Walsh says. It's too dangerous. I'm not asking for authorization. I'm a civilian. I'm informing you of my intentions. Calloway steps forward. She's not going alone. Dr. Calloway, this is a combat situation requiring medical personnel with field experience. Calloway interrupts Walsh. I have that experience, and I have friends who do too. She pulls out her phone, makes a call. Garrett, it's Bryn Calloway. I need the team. Full kit. Metropolitan Hospital South Entrance. 30 minutes. She listens. Yes, it's that important. She hangs up, looks at Thea. You're about to meet the last guard, combat medics who never really left the service. They've been waiting for a reason to matter again. You just gave it to them. 30 minutes later, the south parking lot of Metropolitan Trauma Center fills with vehicles, not military, civilian trucks and SUVs. But the people who emerge from them move with unmistakable military bearing. 5 combat veterans, ages ranging from 53 to 62, all former medical personnel, all answering the call. Dr. Garrett Blaine, 62, former Army Ranger medic, Gulf War veteran, gray beard and steady hands that have performed field amputations under fire. Sloan Mercer, 58, former Navy hospital corpsman, Iraq, short hair and calculating eyes that miss nothing. Cole Ashford, 55, former Air Force pararescue, Afghanistan, lean and dangerous. The kind of man who jumps out of helicopters into combat zones to save lives. Rowan Pierce, 61, former Marine combat medic, Somalia and Iraq. Scars visible on her forearms. Moves like violence is always an option. Everett Quinn, 53, former Army Special Forces medic, multiple classified tours. The kind of man who has done things that will never make it into official records. They gather around Calloway. No speech is needed, just nods of recognition between people who have shared something. Garrett speaks first, deep voice, Texas accent. Bryn, been a while. Too long, we have a situation. Calloway gestures to Thea. This is Dr. Thea Garrison, Captain Garrison, former Army Medical Corps, 217 combat surgeries. Someone is trying to kill her and a dying soldier she operated on 8 years ago. The conspiracy goes to general level. We're going to extract the soldier and expose everyone involved. The veterans look at Thea, assessing, not dismissive. Professional evaluation. You need shooters or medics, Sloan asks. Both, Thea says. The soldier Corporal Mitchell, she's stage 4 cancer. Moving her will be difficult. She'll need medical support throughout. But the people holding her are contractors. Former military, Black Ridge Security. They'll be armed and prepared. How many? Cole's voice is clipped. Efficient. Unknown. Minimum 6. Probably more. Rowan cracks her knuckles. Good. I was getting bored. Special Agent Walsh approaches. He has been on phone coordinating with FBI tactical teams. His expression is skeptical. We can't officially sanction this. If you go there, you're civilians conducting unauthorized rescue operation. We can't provide backup. Don't need official sanction, Garrett says. Just need target location and confirmation. We're on the right side of the law. You're on the right side. General Sutton's network has killed 14 soldiers and defrauded the government of $2 billion. Taking him down is justice. Walsh pauses. But I can't help you do it. Understood. Cross steps forward. I can. Military intelligence has authority to operate against military personnel engaged in criminal conspiracy. This falls under that jurisdiction. Walsh looks at him. You're putting your career on the line. My career means nothing if soldiers are dying to protect contractor profits. Cross turns to Thea. Where's the warehouse? Thea pulls out her phone, shows him the message with coordinates. South Industrial District, near the river. Cross pulls up satellite imagery. Old manufacturing zone, multiple buildings, lots of cover, perfect for ambush. Which means we don't go in the front door, Thea says. We split up. Multiple entry points. Create confusion. Extract Mitchell during the chaos. Garrett nods approvingly. You've done this before. Once or twice, the team loads equipment, medical supplies, communications gear. Body armor for Thea and Calloway, the only ones without their own. Weapons stay concealed, legally owned, properly registered. They are not a military unit, just civilians with training exercising their rights. The convoy moves out. 3 vehicles. Garrett driving the lead truck with Thea and Calloway. Cross in the second with Sloan and Cole. Rowan and Everett in the third with additional medical supplies. During the drive, Garrett glances at Thea in the rearview mirror. What's the play when we get there? Recon first. Identify entry points, guard positions, Mitchell's location, then we move fast. In and out before they can coordinate response. And if Sutton's there himself, Thea's jaw tightens. Then we arrest him, or we end him, whichever keeps Mitchell alive. They arrive at the industrial district as sun drops below the horizon. Darkness their ally now. The warehouse looms ahead. Old brick building, broken windows, multiple entry points just as Cross predicted. The team dismounts 2 blocks away, moves on foot through shadows. Cole takes point. Air Force training, making him natural scout. He signals back. 6 hostiles visible. 2 on roof. 4 ground level. Standard security pattern. But something is wrong. Thea sees it immediately. The guards are positioned wrong. Too visible. Too obvious. This is not security. This is theater. She signals the team. Gathers them close. Whispers. It's a trap. Those guards are bait. Real threat is inside waiting for us. How do you know? Cross asks. Because if I was Sutton, I'd do the same thing. Make us think we know what we're facing. Then hit us when we commit. Garrett nods slowly. So what do we do? Thea thinks. Processes tactical options. Then smiles grimly. We spring the trap, but we spring it on our terms. She outlines the plan. The team listens, nods, professionals understanding immediately. Cole and Sloan will create diversion at north entrance. Loud, obvious, draw attention and resources. Rowan and Everett will breach east side. Quiet, surgical, reach Mitchell's position. Garrett, Calloway, Cross, and Thea will go through the roof, unexpected angle, literally from above. The team separates, moves into position. Thea checks her phone, sends one last message to a number she has not contacted in 3 years. Dylan, if you're reading this, something went wrong. I love you. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Be better than I was. Mom. She pockets the phone, follows Garrett up fire escape to adjacent building. They cross rooftops, reach position above warehouse. Below them, through broken skylight, she can see the interior. Her breath catches. Fallon is there, in hospital bed. Monitors beeping, but she is not alone. Surrounding her are not 6 guards, 12, all armed, all professional. And in the center, standing beside Fallon's bed, is Brigadier General Crew Sutton. He looks older than Thea remembers. Silver hair, lines around his eyes. But his bearing is unchanged, command presence. The kind of leader soldiers follow, or did follow, before he became something else. Thea's radio crackles softly. Cole's voice. In position, ready on your mark. Stand by, she whispers back. She studies the scene below, looking for the trap within the trap. Sutton would not make it this easy. Then she sees it. The guards are not watching the entrances. They are watching the skylight. Weapons angled up, waiting. He knows they will come from above. He has predicted their move, which means she needs to do something he will not predict. She keys her shuritu. Change of plans. Cole, Sloan, execute diversion now. Full noise. Make them think that's the main assault. Copy. 10 seconds later, the north entrance explodes. Not literally, but Cole and Sloan are making enough noise to make it sound literal. Shouting, metal clanging, flashbangs through windows. The guards below react. Half of them pivot toward the noise. Sutton barks orders. They are coordinating response. Rowan, Everett breach now while they're distracted. Moving. Thea turns to her team on the roof. We don't go through the skylight, we go through that. She points to ventilation shaft. Large enough for a person. Opens directly above Mitchell's position. Garrett grins. Ballsy, I like it. They move. Cole goes first, thin enough to navigate the shaft. Thea follows, tight fit, claustrophobic, but she has been in worse situations. They emerge inside the warehouse, directly above where they need to be. Not where Sutton expected, but Sutton is not there anymore. The general has moved, taking cover behind Mitchell's bed, using her as shield, his sidearm drawn, pointed at Fallon's head. Captain Garrison, his voice echoes through the warehouse. I was wondering when you'd arrive, though I expected you to be smarter about the approach. Thea drops from the ventilation shaft, lands in a crouch, straightens. Her team emerges behind her, weapons trained on Sutton's guards. Let her go, General. This is over. The FBI has the evidence. 16 arrests already. Your network is collapsing. Sutton laughs. Is that what you think, that this is about money, about some contractor fraud? What else would it be about? Survival, Captain. The military-industrial complex is not a conspiracy. It's the ecosystem that keeps this country safe. Those contracts put weapons in soldiers' hands, feed their families, fund the research that saves lives. His voice hardens. I wasn't stealing. I was ensuring the system continued functioning despite bureaucratic incompetence. By killing soldiers who discovered them. By protecting something larger than individual lives. You of all people should understand that. How many soldiers did you sacrifice in triage? How many did you let die so others could live? That's all I've been doing, mathematics, resources versus outcomes. Thea takes a step forward. Sutton presses the gun harder against Fallon's temple. Fallon's eyes are open now, conscious, aware. But she does not speak, does not plead. Just watches Thea with a trust. That was combat medicine, Thea says. This is murder. Different words for the same equation. No, in combat, I saved everyone I could. I made impossible choices because there was no other option. You had choices. You chose profit over principles. You chose murder a year over honor. Sutton's finger tightens on the trigger. I could kill her right now, end this. You'd have nothing. I'd have you, and that's enough. His eyes narrow. You wouldn't shoot. You're a doctor. You save lives. I'm also a soldier, and soldiers protect their own. For 3 seconds, nothing moves. 12 guards, 5 veterans, general and hostage, everyone waiting for someone to break the standoff. Then Fallon speaks, her voice weak but clear. Captain, others before self. Thea understands immediately. Fallon is giving permission, saying her life is acceptable cost to stop Sutton. But Thea has left too many soldiers behind already. All of us get out of here, Corporal. That's an order. Fallon smiles slightly. Yes, ma'am. The warehouse lights slam on, flooding the space with industrial brightness. FBI tactical teams pour through every entrance simultaneously. 20 agents, all armed, all moving with precision. Special Agent Walsh's voice booms through loudspeaker. Brigadier General Sutton, you are surrounded by federal agents. Drop your weapon. Release the hostage. This is your only warning. Sutton looks around, at the FBI, at Thea's team, at his guards who are slowly lowering their weapons, realizing the situation is lost. You called them out, he says to Thea, before I entered the building, I'm not a soldier anymore, General. I'm a civilian, which means I don't have to follow military protocol. I can cooperate with civilian law enforcement whenever I want. Sutton's expression twists, rage and realization. He has been outmaneuvered, but his gun is still pressed to Fallon's head. I could still kill her. Take at least one of you with me. You could, Thea agrees. But then what? You die here. Your legacy becomes traitor, who held dying woman hostage. Is that how you want to be remembered? His hand trembles slightly. Weapon still raised, still dangerous. Thea takes another step forward, slowly, hands visible. Or you surrender, face trial, tell your story. Maybe some people will understand the choices you made. Maybe some will even agree. But you get to make your case. You get to try to justify it. She is close now, within arm's reach. You taught me that soldiers have honor even in defeat, that we face consequences of our actions. Be the officer you trained me to be. For a long moment, Sutton does not move. Then slowly, incrementally, the gun comes away from Fallon's head. He lowers it, sets it on the bed, raises his hands. I did what I thought was necessary. History will judge whether I was right. Yes, it will. Faux BLI agents swarm in, cuff Sutton, read him his rights, lead him away. His guards are detained, disarmed. The warehouse transforms from battleground to crime scene in minutes. Thea moves to Fallon's bedside. Calloway is already there, checking vitals, adjusting IV lines, professional assessment. How is she? Thea asks. Alive. Barely. This extraction cost her. She needs hospital, real one, now. Paramedics arrive, transfer equipment. Fallon's bed is rolled toward exit. But Fallon reaches out, catches Thea's hand. Did we win, Tweet? We won. Sutton is in custody. Evidence is distributed. The conspiracy is over. Fallon's grip tightens slightly. Then I can rest. Not yet. You rest after we get you to proper palliative care. After you're comfortable. Always taking care of us, Captain. Always will, Corporal. They load Fallon into ambulance. Calloway rides with her. The veterans gather around Thea in parking lot, covered in dust and adrenaline. Victorious but exhausted. Garrett extends his hand. Thea shakes it. You did good work tonight, Captain. Doctor, whoever you are. I'm both. Finally figured that out. Good. World needs both versions of you. The veterans disperse, returning to their lives, carrying new purpose back with them, knowing they mattered again. Cross approaches. FBI wants your statement, full accounting. I'll give it, but first I need to see Mitchell, make sure she's stable. Of course. They drive to Rush University Medical Center. Fallon transferred to palliative care wing. Private room, comfortable. All the machinery that cannot save her but can make the end bearable. Thea sits beside the bed, holds Fallon's hand. Calloway checks monitors, makes adjustments, professional, caring. Thank you, Fallon whispers. Both of you, for fighting, for not giving up. We don't leave soldiers behind, Calloway says softly. Never have, never will. Fallon's eyes find Thea's. Captain Garrison saved my life twice. Once in Kandahar, once tonight. I'm grateful. You saved mine too, Thea says. By refusing to let me hide. By forcing me to be who I really am. Others before self. Always. Fallon's breathing changes, becomes shallower. The monitors reflect the transition. Body beginning final shutdown. Palliative care has done its work. No pain now, just gentle slope towards silence. Thea does not leave, does not let go of her hand, just sits. Present, witness. Calloway stands on the other side of bed. Two surgeons who understand what this moment means. At 3:47 a.m. Fallon's breathing stops. Monitors flatline. Alarm sounds briefly before Calloway silences it. The room fills with the specific silence that follows death. Heavy. Complete. Thea sits with the body for 5 minutes, holding the hand that has gone still, saying goodbye to a soldier who survived war only to die of cancer, who lived 8 extra years because combat surgeon refused to accept she was too far gone. 8 years. Fallon used them to expose conspiracy, to save future soldiers, to make her death mean something beyond cancer's victory. Thea finally releases her hand, stands, looks at Calloway. I need to write the death notification. Contact next of kin. Already done, Calloway says gently. Agent Walsh handled it. Fallon's brother. He's FBI. He knew she was dying. He's the one who set up evidence distribution network. Thea nods. Processing. Everything connected. Everyone working together. Conspiracy of honor to counteract conspiracy of greed. What now, Calloway asks. Now I go back to work. Finish my residency. Learn everything I can from people like you. And then I teach. 3 weeks later, Thea stands before Metropolitan Trauma Center Board of Directors. Chief Stone presides. Cross sits in audience. Calloway beside him. Doctor, Garrison Stone begins your military service while disclosed late represents extraordinary experience. The board has reviewed your actions. FBI has cleared you of wrongdoing. Every resident in this program has petitioned for you to stay. He slides a document across the table. We're offering you dual appointment. Resident physician and director of combat trauma training. You'll finish residency while teaching advanced emergency procedures. Interested? Thea looks at contract. At opportunity to integrate both identities officially. I accept. That evening, Thea's apartment. Still minimalist but warming. Photos on walls now. Field journal open on desk. She writes new entry. 3 weeks since Fallon Mitchell died. 3 weeks since General Sutton's arrest. 16 co-conspirators in custody. Colonel Lancaster rescued from black site detention. Trial begins next month. Dylan ships out in 4 months. We talk twice a week now, rebuilding what was lost. I start teaching tomorrow. 20 residents. First lesson, triage decisions under pressure. Second lesson, living with those decisions after. Fallon was right. Integration is possible. Captain and doctor, soldier and teacher, all of it. None of it contradicting the rest. Others before self, but also self before emptiness. You cannot serve from a hollow place. The war is over. The mission continues. She closes journal. Not to hide it, just to rest. Tomorrow she teaches. Tomorrow service takes new form. Tomorrow Captain Garrison and Dr. Garrison walk into same classroom as one person. Finally whole.